So maybe we should talk a little bit about what is important to real estate agents. When you think about all of the things that we have to do every day, what's most important for you to get things accomplished as an agent? And what kind of pecking order do you have as far as priorities in your day-to-day life? Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today, we're going to talk about priorities. We're going to talk about a lot of the fake priorities that you put out there and what it takes to really pursue your passion, pursue your success in the face of adversity when things come up. We certainly can't guarantee anything in life, but I can. I can guarantee one thing's for certain: bad shit's going to happen to you. There is no question about it. Over the next year, there's going to be something really bad that happens to every single one of us. Now, my hope is there's 10 or 12 good things as well. But we know that stuff comes up, things are going to happen. And what you really have to think about is how you react to those issues. I don't remember the exact quote, but I do a lot of success training and reading books and listening to audios and going to conferences and being involved in mastermind events and that type of thing. And the way you react to adversity will determine your ultimate altitude, where you're going to end up in life. How well do you react to bad things that happen to you? So I got to kind of thinking about this because I've had a lot of agents that have struggled with this themselves. I had a death in the family on Saturday, and you got to think, how long does it take you to get back into gear, to get things going again when bad stuff happens to you? Because it may be a health diagnosis that you get or a family member gets. It may be a death in the family. It may be a wreck, a car wreck, an accident of some sort. There could be a number of things that could happen to you. How long are you going to let that affect your business, affect your income, affect your future? So I wanted to talk a little bit about, and the answer for me Saturday was 6 minutes. That's how long it took me, 6 minutes to be back on a business call. Now, you may not be as effective as you usually would. You may respond emotionally much different than you would. No different than if you were in a car wreck and then you just hear a horn a week later, it still makes you freak out. You're a little overreactive. Your senses are heightened when that happens to you. But how you react in the long run is going to determine your outcome as either a successful person. I've always said in real estate as well as anything in life, you're either focused and successful or you're distracted. That's the only two type of people there are. There's successful and there's distracted. That's the only two type of people in this entire world. So you really need to think about, where do you stand on that pedestal for priorities? What's most important for you for priorities? So as an example, I was kind of thinking of an analogy. I used to do a lot of analogies that really helps people to get this. And I want you to imagine for a second that, so a big problem for a lot of real estate agents is something happens to them and they shut down their real estate business. Or I'm going to take a break from real estate, right? Oh, I just got a bad diagnosis from the doctor. I'm going to take a break from real estate. What? The first thing you need to think is, shit, I'm going to need a lot more money. Not less money. There's a lot of stuff you can't do now. One of them is not cut off your money. What are you talking about? Oh, my dad's sick and we got to take care of him and we got to do it. So I'm just not going to do real estate for now. What? What I'm hearing is your expenses are going up, so you're not going to make money anymore. How can you react that way? So I was thinking a little bit about this, and I want you to imagine you're having a barbecue at your house, and it's just you. I was kind of thinking through this myself. If my girlfriend's over and it's just her and I, and we have another couple that's coming over. Okay. So tonight they're coming over at 6 o'clock, and I'm just going to make hamburgers on the grill. We're going basic. So there's going to be four of us. I go to the grocery store. We're all trying to lose weight anyway. I'm going to get 4 hamburgers. Okay. So I get 4 hamburgers. I come back to the house. I get the grill started. They're supposed to be here in 15 minutes. So I get the grill started. I got them on the grill. It's going to be a nice, quiet night, just the 4 of us. And I see their SUV pulls up. So we walk outside to greet them. And they have 6 people getting out of the SUV. Hey, I hope you don't mind. We brought a few friends. I know we're just kind of hanging out. What's the first thing I think? Well, you know what I think? Run to the back of the house, get all the food off the grill, and throw it in the garbage because we need more of it and we don't have it. So we're just going to stop doing it. We don't have food anymore. We're never going to the grocery again because we're going to need more food than we initially thought. When bad shit happens, you're going to need more of those resources. For us, most generally, that resource isn't hamburgers, it's money. If someone dies, this shit's going to be expensive. If someone needs medical treatments and they need to fly across the country and they've got to go to this doctor and they have to stay in this hotel for 10 days of treatments and all, this sounds like we're going to need more resources. What we don't do is throw away our opportunity at making money. And I can't tell you how many people do that. This is the kind of the storm season in the US right now. So many people say, oh, well, we got hit by the tornado and I just had a little bit of damage, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time meeting with repair guys, trying to get all that back up. So, I'm just not going to have time to do what? You might live in a torn up house and increase your production as a real estate agent. What you won't do is try and make your house nice and then be in debt. Now, if you guys have followed me for a while, I'm the no BS real estate coach. So I'm going to tell you how it is. And I don't let feelings get in the way of finances by any means. Would I ever let that happen? I had an agent that I was really close with, still really close with her, as a matter of fact, and close enough to be able to talk to her like a friend would talk to her. And this has been 4 years ago. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. Unfortunately, a large number of people are still fighting that. We have not found a cure yet. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she said, I'm going to just stop selling real estate. I'm not going to renew my license. I'm just going to focus on getting better and, doing what I got to do to fight this thing. And I said, well, obviously, man, best wishes. Like, I hope you're able to fight this thing. If you win, you're going to have a shitty life. If you win, if you fight it, if you beat it, you're going to be financially in debt. You're going to be miserable. You're not going to want, why did this happen to you? And for the next 10 years, you're going to be saying, back 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and it just ruined my whole life. That's not what ruined your life. The way you reacted to that is what ruined your life. I've had all kinds of bad shit happen to me. How I react to that is going to make me stronger. The best way in the world for me to make more money is to have to spend more money. I've proven this over and over and over. If I need an extra $3 million for my son to stay alive, I will have $3 million in no time. What I won't do is say, oh, I need to hug him and be with him while we hope that we get $3 million while he's dying. No, we're going to fix the problem. That's how you fix the situation. But for so many people, they really think, hey, I need to just focus I need to be as stressed as I can be about this. Let me spend all of my time on this. There's nothing you can do. What do you do? If you're going to dialysis on Thursdays, what are you doing the other 6 3/4 days of the week? Not 6 days of the week. It don't take a whole damn day for dialysis. Because even if you're there and you're on the phone, you can have someone else do it, because what you don't want to do is beat it and then have a worse life than you had before it happened in the first place. I know that sucks to talk about. I know that hurts to say, that we should be more compassionate. I'm compassionate for your life, not for your day. I don't give a damn about your day or even your month or a 6-month trek that you have to deal with. I care about the outcome of your life, the quality of your lifestyle for many years to come. And if you fold, if you decide I'm going to just ruin myself financially because I have to deal with this thing for the next 2 decades, if you beat that thing for the next 2 decades, you're going to talk about what happened to you. You realize how many people lost a lot of stuff financially in 2008, 2009, 2010, and they're still using it as an excuse today? Well, back in 2008, dude, people have created millions and lost it again and created millions and lost it again and created millions 3 different times since then. You're still sitting around talking about what happened to you and how far it set you back and all the problems that you had. Look, when bad stuff happens, it should make you stronger. It should make you bigger. It should make you wealthier. Find a way to make it happen. I used an example at one of our live events here recently where we were talking about if I were ever in a car accident and I lost both my legs. I promise you I would make more. By the way, maybe I already did. You don't know. I'm still talking to you. Maybe I don't have them anymore. I guarantee you I could sit in bed and sell 500 homes a year if that was the route that I wanted to take, the career path I wanted to take. I'd make more money because I wouldn't have all the distractions. I wouldn't be doing all of those other things. So you find that's somebody that's bedridden. You find a way to make it work. Send somebody else on the appointments. Have somebody else meet with the clients face to face. There's ways to make it work for you. I can guarantee you as you get older, you're not going to be happy with what happens to your body, with what happens to your life. I was talking to a lady the other day that was saying, she's in her late 30s. She's not in her late 30s. She's in her last 30. But she's in her last 30 right now. And she looks at these 18, 20, 25-year-olds, even 29, 30-year-olds, and like they don't think they're going to get old. They really don't think they're going to get old. Sorry for you. You're 40 years old. Oh my gosh, you're old. Or someone that's 40 says, oh my gosh, you're 50. I sure hope that never happens to me. It's definitely going to happen to you. And what will happen is you get tired doing nothing. You get sore doing nothing. You don't have the energy to do what you used to do. Many of us that used to run like crazy and could work 50 buyers and could do all of this business, that is not going to be the same next year and the year after and the year after and the year after. We know that that's going to change for us. So while you have the ability, you have to take advantage of that. You have to operate at a high level. You can't use excuses for why you're not going to move forward. How many people use the excuse with all the changes happening to real estate agents right now? How many use that as an excuse? Oh, I can't get paid on buyers anymore. Dude, the last 3 days have been the most profitable that buyer agents have ever seen in the history of the United States of America, if they're using the right approach. It's the biggest opportunity in the world. Meanwhile, there's people that are like, oh, I'm just getting out of the business. It's going to be too hard. Now people are going to call the listing agent. If they could call someone else to replace you, they shouldn't have been using you in the first place. I just commented to somebody on Facebook to that effect. I'm like, if you're worried now that they're going to go directly to listing agent, isn't it kind of unethical for you to take it just because they were forced to, and now you don't think they're forced to use you, so they're going to go save money? Maybe your shit's not needed. Maybe that's what you're actually trying to say here, that you feel you might be an unneeded portion of a real estate contract. Maybe we need to fix that. Maybe your business is sick. And we have to have the right reaction to those things that come up. So when everybody woke up Saturday morning and they were nervous about even going to, it used to be you wanted to find a client. Now you're nervous to meet them. Maybe you're going to mess it up. Maybe you won't say the right thing. Maybe they won't do what they're supposed to do in signing that form and compensation agreement and that type of thing. So now you've spent the last years trying to find clients. Now you're afraid you're going to find them because you may not handle it the right way. I'd probably adjust what you're doing rather than fold. If you have an unnecessary expense come up, I would adjust what I'm doing. How crazy would it be if you got served from the IRS that says you owe an extra $60,000? I went with a low number. I know it, maybe a lot more than that, but like 60,000. Okay, 6 closings, big deal. Go get the freaking closings. But let's say it was $60,000 that you owed. How do you react? I got to get this shit done before Thanksgiving. That's how you react. Not, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I guess I won't make money now and I'll just have to owe them forever. Maybe they'll do a payment plan. Maybe I can run forever and they'll never catch me and I'll just stay small and I'll try and hide and I'll change my phone number and I won't register my address and I'll just hide. Go sell 6 freaking houses. It should be done next month, but I'll give you to Thanksgiving if that's what you need to do. I can't tell you how many agents I meet. We're meeting in our $100,000 agent challenge today. We have our call 2 hours and 1 minute from right now. And one of the things we're going to talk about is your total debt, because when agents first get started with me, a lot of them have a lot of debt. Some of them just have a little debt. They have 40 or 50 grand. That's nothing. But for those that have a lot of debt, you need to total it up. You need to know what that number is so we can create a game plan that makes it happen. What are you doing? Kicking the can down the road, making minimum payments trying to work something out with the IRS for $100 a month that doesn't even cover the interest, which means if you pay $100 a month for 50 years, you will owe more than the first payment that you ever made. It will be a higher balance than what you started with. It's as ignorant as the student loans that people still have, which has always driven me crazy, by the way. You got like, here's college kids that smoke weed and drink and don't want to do anything except sleep all day. And they think they're a victim and the government is what's done all of this. And let's give them money. You got business people coming in with a business plan that get declined. And you're like, no, give them 50 grand. It'll work out fine. How long do you want to owe that? Because I'm telling you now, there's people in their 40s and in their 50s that still owe on debts because they did not take the right action to fix that problem for themselves. But if it was $30,000 in debts, and then you had a air conditioning unit that needed fixed, and then you were at $40,000, and then somebody wrecked your car and insurance didn't cover it, and there was some kind of lapse in your coverage, so now you're $60,000 in debt, and it just keeps piling up and piling up. You don't have a problem with your outgo. You have a problem with your income. And the last thing you want to do is be stressed and be a little wussy sitting at home crying about it instead of fixing the problem. Stand up, be aggressive, do what you're supposed to do to actually succeed. If I'm sitting here, now you know what you would do in that barbecue, that cookout scenario. If we're here and I've got 4 burgers on the grill and we step outside and 6 people come out of their SUV, I'm saying hello and I'm greeting them as I'm getting my keys out of my pocket. Hey, take care of them, make them a drink, whatever. I got to run to the grocery store real quick. I got to go get more money. I got to get more resources. In this case, I got to get more hamburger. I didn't know this was going to be happening. What I won't do is say, I'm never buying food again. We're just going to not eat food, and we're going to find a way to let the sun feed us. We're going to sit in the sun so we no longer need calories. We're going to find something stupid to do to justify the fact that I need more resources right now. So I can promise you, between now and Christmas, you're going to have a little bit of bad stuff that happens to you. You're going to have it might be a flat tire. Is it not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe tires are $400. You're a grown ass adult, and $400 is a problem for you. If we can fix that mental mindset that I need to go much bigger in my business, it allows you to get those resources so you can help not only you, but you can help all of your loved ones as well. That's where I want to get you to. I want you to get to that position. You have the theory of plenty. Money just comes to you. You're operating at a big level. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do here. And if you do that, I'm telling you, you will see a drastic difference in how you react to bad things that happen. What you'll find a lot, and I know it's a difference in finances. My own family will freak out if something goes up by 10%. Right? I can't believe gas prices right now. Are we really going to have a conversation because at 10 cents a gallon, your car holds a total of 16 gallons? We're really going to have a conversation about $1.60 a week? If you fix the real problem, you don't have to focus on all of the symptoms that you're seeing here. These are symptoms of a bigger problem, which is you need more money. So yes, insurance is going to be outrageous. Yes, if you live in Florida right now, the homeowner's insurance, if you can even get it, it's going to cost a lot of money. Yes, car insurance is going up. Yes, everything is expensive. Yes, one of the presidential candidates just announced today that they're planning on a 28% corporate tax on every single business, including LLCs, including your brokerage, including your own business. Yes, the costs are going to go up. Is your income going to go up, or are you going to bitch about it? Inflation will keep happening, by the way. I don't know why everybody thinks, hopefully we're going to get the prices down. Nobody ever said they were going to go down. They said they'd like to see it go up by only 2% per year. Nobody said we're going to have disinflation. Nobody said that the $5.79 taco that Taco Bell has, nobody said it's going back down to $3. They said they want that $5.79 to be $5.91 next year instead of $6.50. Stuff will keep costing more, and you're going to have emergencies come up. So a big problem for a lot of agents is not focusing on what's really important to them. And then they start to fall into the big two problems, which is distraction and procrastination. And that's the two big issues I see for an awful lot of agents. They get distracted with all kinds of other stuff. They're messing around. They're watching YouTube videos on success and motivation. Here's a montage of all the motivational quote. What the hell are you doing? You're not even motivated? How many of them do you need to watch to actually get up and go do something? Does it make you feel better to watch other people win? Do you watch a football game and get excited when your team that you don't own shit of, your team wins? I think you're actually watching multimillionaires earn their money while you're sitting on the couch getting fatter and broker. I think that's what's actually happening. I know that's not common for people to say, right? I know that's definitely the no bullshit approach. But maybe we need to play our own game. Maybe instead of worrying about the White House, we should worry about what's going on in our house. Maybe we should not have that distraction and procrastination and all the other issues that come up. Because I'm telling you now, there's an awful lot of people that are on the wrong bus with you. And not only are they shouldn't be on the bus, they don't want to go where you want to go. They're also dragging their feet and they're slowing you down. They're dead weight that aren't getting you where you need to be. So if you're finding this distraction and all of these other issues that you're going to spend your time with, there's all kinds of stuff on the internet that'll make you feel better about justifying why you're in the current position that you are. You can sit there all you want to learn about why narcissists act the way they do. Are you trying to relate that to your spouse? Get rid of that get rid of them. What are you doing? It's a loser. A loser, you can't turn a loser into a winner. Why are you wasting your time trying to repair someone else? Distraction and procrastination, those people shouldn't be on the bus. They're not going where you need to go. So if you can get real focused on the things that matter, how you make the most amount of money as a real estate agent to provide for the quality of life that you want to have, to provide for the things that you're looking for. But for an awful lot of people, they have emotional ignorance, right? Emotional ignorance is their big problem. They're making bad decisions. So as an example, again, I just found out I've been sick, or I've got a diagnosis, or I was just diagnosed with COVID or something much more serious. But, just a few years ago, we thought everyone was going to die. But something that's very serious, and maybe that is enough to cause you to pass away. But maybe it's not. What I don't want to have happen is a little thing comes up, you make a big deal out of it, you beat it, but then you're in a bad position. You're in a worse position than you were to begin with because of the decisions you made on how you're going to react to this. If bad stuff happens to me, I'm going to make more money because money makes an awful lot of those problems go away, including how much a funeral costs. I don't even care how much. Tell me the number. I don't care. Because I've been fixing that for decades now. It does not matter. I can't believe what they're charging for the funeral. This is ridiculous. There's no way it costs. Can I buy the funeral home so you'll shut up? Because it's absolutely outrageous. This is what you're worried about. If you're worried about how much the taco costs and you need to have a conversation about that, maybe we need to fix the real problem. We need to fix the income. If you get focused on what really matters, a lot of the life issues that come up, because we all have life issues that come up, how you react is what's really going to make a difference here. So, I think that here's an important point for you. People love to tell their story about why their struggle exists, right? We all have that, by the way. I can tell you my story right now. Everybody has a story about why their struggle exists. I got bad news for you. Nobody gives a shit about your story unless you win. Nobody wants to hear your story unless you win. Do you think that there's ever been a superhero movie where the superhero doesn't kill the villain in the end? Nobody would watch it. Nobody cares that they overcame all these problems and they were the little nerd that wore the glasses and then they became the Superman. And nobody cares if you don't win. Shut up with the stupid story. Let's make it a story people want to listen to or read or watch. Nobody cares unless you win. You're just a loser right now. But with that in mind, you can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. Do you agree with that? Like, if you're just getting started with fixing your situation and paying off your debts and that type of thing, the last thing you want to do is compare yourself to me. That's the last thing you'd ever want to do. I can promise you, I had somebody talking about this the other day. I can promise you, I make more money in a week than a huge percentage of people do in 10 years, a decade of their life driving to work every day and back. But guess what? There was a time that I had to split a frozen burrito with my wife at the time, my wife. I had to split a frozen burrito from the dollar store. That was the low point for me. I've been there. I've been there. So don't compare me, don't compare yourself to me. Maybe compare yourself to where I was and say, well, shit, at least I'm not that bad. At least at least I could buy a whole burrito and eat it myself. I wouldn't have to split that for dinner. But if you're just on your chapter 1, you can't compare to the other people you see on the internet, in your real estate office, within your friend group. You can't do that. You have to compare to who you were yesterday. If you're better, more profitable, more focused, doing the right thing compared to who you were yesterday, you're writing the correct book. If you're comparing your book to somebody else's, you're not going to do well here. So if your book is, oh, I had this bad thing happen, I got robbed and then it messed me up emotionally and then I had PTSD and then I just didn't work and then I was afraid to meet buyers because I was afraid maybe they're going to rob me too, and then my real estate business just went horrible. Nobody wants to hear that story. That sounds good to you. How about we have all that bad stuff happen and then you're able to triumph and you come back 10 times bigger than you ever were? That is the story. I can't wait till you tell me how he robbed you, how bad you went through an emotional problem, how it took you were waking up in the middle of the night and couldn't sleep, and then that was causing health problems. I want to hear that because I know what the ending is, and that will inspire me. But nobody wants to hear how you're losing. Nobody cares about your story unless you win. That's up to you. So if bad stuff's happening to you, first thing you got to think, man, this is going to be a really good chapter. This is going to make it that much. I didn't even know this was going to happen in my life. This is going to make it that much more intriguing. When bad stuff happens, it gives me a chance to triumph at a much bigger level. If I'm focused, if I don't allow those distractions, if I don't allow that procrastination. So I want you to really think through these things. And, the title of today's morning meeting, what's important to real estate agents? It had better be your production. Because by the way, if you have a mental issue, well, Greg, sometimes you need to be with your family. No, if you're with your family, that is not fair to your business. If you're with your business, that is not fair to your family. You have an on and off switch. You need to know how to turn it on and turn it off. You can't blend both. If I go to your office in your house where you sell real estate and you have a electric bill for your house, you're mixing personal with business. It all blends in one, and you will always feel like you're robbing from the other one. If you're spending time at work, you'll be like, man, I should be spending time with my family. But then when you're spending time with your family, you're like, man, I really need to make money and go to work, or we're going to struggle here financially. That's because you don't have your on-off switch. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing here on a regular basis. So you can give fair time, quality time, without thinking about something else when you're with those people or when you're with that business. You don't feel guilty with what you're doing. That's focus. That's eliminating distraction. That's eliminating procrastination. I had an agent tell me, I don't know, a couple months ago, I had a conversation about how busy he is. And he's working 80-hour weeks, and, he's just so busy, and real estate is all consuming. I'm like, how many homes did you sell last month? He's like, I closed one. Dude, who you lying to? Your family might believe that bullshit, but you ain't going to tell me you spent 320 hours to get one deal closed. You know what you're doing? You're like checking the MLS for new listings so that you're up on the market. So you're familiar with inventory. You're reading the new download, which almost All the shit you see online about NAR is totally wrong. You can have attorneys from your state give a presentation and people actually believe that shit's true because he's an attorney. You know who lies worse than anybody? You know who makes it fit into their own agenda worse than anybody on the planet? I got sent emails from two different, whatever they are, head of their board of realtors, whatever. They have a legal department. They have multiple attorneys there. One said this and the other one said exactly the opposite. What are you going to do? Say, well, I heard from an attorney. You think that's an authoritative source? Was it the same attorneys that represented NAR? I hope you slapped the hell out of them. I certainly wouldn't listen to what they say. Their initial conversation was, this lawsuit's nothing to worry about at all. It's going to go away. We have nothing to worry about. That's what was said 4 or 5 years ago. So consider the source, consider their intentions, consider, oh, this isn't a big deal. We're just going to have people sign forms. I think they want to keep their membership. I think they're trying to keep people from making the drastic changes they need to make within themselves. So really think through what you're doing and how you're reacting to these things. Do you look at it as an opportunity? Bad shit, more money. That's how you should always look at it. Bad stuff comes up, you need to make more money. And if you do that, if you put yourself on the hook, imagine you needed $1.6 million in 30 days. Could you come up with it? Or would you freak out? Would you be, oh man, I guess I'll have to go further into debt. Maybe somebody will give me a loan. No, go get the money. Go get the money, whatever that number is for you. Maybe it's $40,000 in debt and you think this is like overbearing. I could fly to your town for 3 days. We can make that happen. 40 grand? Aren't your homes like $300,000 a piece? What are you talking about? I think your actions, how you're reacting to these issues are really what the problem are, not the freaking 40 grand. Credit card debt, you're paying 28%. We have to fix those issues. So rather than you, backing back into the cave and not doing what you're supposed to do, you need to come out, you need to shine, you need to make as much money as possible and react the right way. There's a time for mourning. If there's a death or a sickness or whatever, there's a time to do that. But you also got to feed everybody. You still need to bring food to the den. You still need more food at the cookout. You didn't know all these problems were going to show up. You need more hamburgers to hand out to all of them so they'll leave you alone. You don't want to share yours. So we got to go get more resources. Hopefully that makes sense for you. And frankly, that's one of the reasons so many agents follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever, because I'm going to give you the truth. Not, oh, really? You had a sick, oh, that's horrible. They're going to have to amputate your finger. Oh, how long's the recovery time? What are we doing? Why are we doing that? I don't feel sorry for nothing. Sucks for you. Let's make a lot of money from it. Let's do well with it. Let's see what we can do to provide for your family at a higher level. Let them hug you and tell you, oh my gosh, this is going to be horrible. You're only going to be able to count to 9. Whatever the issue is, if you lose a finger, who gives, like, what are you going to do? You're going to have boogers in your nose now. Whatever happens if you lose it, I don't care. Let's go make money. Let's find a way that you can take this to leapfrog your business the right way. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And most importantly, you understand my intentions and trying to shake you a little bit, trying to get your attention, because if you get this part of your life right, every time a major expense comes up, it gets you back in gear. It gets you to realize you've been slipping a little bit. You've been slowing down. It gets your attention. It wakes you up so you can be the person you're supposed to be. And you can create an impact on the world, helping more people, because that's how you get paid, is by helping more people to succeed. I know that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that's what you're doing as well. If this was helpful for you, share this with another agent or with somebody that you know. It's frankly has nothing to do with real estate, right? This is just in general. When things bad are happening, you need to find a way, put a system together, put a business together, start selling something, do whatever you got to do. Look how easy it is to sell things online now. And then you're making the right decision so you come out on top when those things happen. I want to be able to say, the lady that we were talking about, which, by the way, you know what she says now? Here's her story. You want to hear this story, by the way. You'd love to know her name. Here's why. The title of her book could be, if I can get her to write the book, Getting Breast Cancer Was the Best Thing That Ever Happened for My Entire Life. It's the best thing that ever happened to me, because she's never been stronger. She's never been happier. She's never made more money. She's never been able to share knowledge, motivation, and even finances with others. It's the best thing that's ever happened to her. For an awful lot of people, when you hear those hero stories, they'll say, I was in a helicopter crash. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I got sued by the IRS. It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Those bad things, if handled correctly, you can turn around and you can do very, very well. Hopefully that helps you today as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments here. What are your thoughts about this? How have you overcame, or have you had the opposite happen where you start to shrink? You start to go smaller. You start to think you need time off. You start to think you can't focus. You weren't focused in the first place. Now this just gives you a reason to not be focused. It's why agents don't feel guilty around the holidays. You've always sucked with what you do every day, but because it's the holidays, you don't feel bad about it. At least now you don't feel bad about not producing. Make sense? So let me know your thoughts about this. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you every single Tuesday on the morning meeting. Any questions you have, reach out to us. I'm always here to help you with growing your real estate business. I'm Greg Luther, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye for now.